Once upon a time, in the ancient city of Rajgir, a young man named Ananda lived. Despite his intelligence and kind heart, Ananda was plagued by fear and hesitation. Every time he tried to step forward and pursue his dreams, doubts clouded his mind. He feared failure, criticism, and the unknown. This fear paralyzed him, making him feel trapped in a life of mediocrity. One day, after hearing about the wisdom of Buddha, Ananda decided to seek his guidance. He traveled to the monastery where Buddha resided, hoping to find a solution to his fears. When Ananda finally stood before Buddha, he asked, "Great teacher, I am constantly afraid. I hesitate to take steps toward my goals. How can I overcome this fear?" Buddha looked at Ananda with compassion and said, "Fear is a natural part of life, Ananda, but it does not have to control you. Let me tell you a story." Buddha began his tale. Once, a large group of monks was traveling through a dense forest. As they walked deeper into the forest, they heard terrifying sounds, roaring animals, howling winds, and rustling leaves. The younger monks were scared and wanted to turn back, but the leader of the group, an experienced monk, said, "We must face our fears if we wish to reach the other side of the forest." Although hesitant, the monks trusted their leader and continued. They walked in silence, their hearts pounding. As they moved forward, they discovered that the source of the terrifying sounds was nothing but the wind blowing through hollow trees and small animals scurrying about. What seemed like fearsome creatures were merely harmless shadows. The monks realized that their fear was an illusion, a creation of their minds. By facing the fear, they learned that it was not as formidable as it appeared. Buddha paused and looked at Ananda. "Do you understand the lesson here?" Ananda thought for a moment and then nodded. "Yes, Master. The fear I feel is often exaggerated in my mind. If I face it head on, I might find that it is not as scary as I imagine." Buddha smiled and added, "Exactly, Ananda. Fear often thrives on the unknown and the imagined. To overcome fear and hesitation, you must confront them directly. Take small steps towards your goals, and with each step, you will find that your fears diminish. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it." Inspired by Buddha's wisdom, Ananda began taking small steps towards his goals. Whenever fear and hesitation crept in, he reminded himself of the monks in the forest. He slowly started to conquer his fears, realizing that most of what he feared existed only in his mind. Over time, Ananda grew more confident and eventually achieved his dreams, all because he learned to face his fears instead of running from them.